Expand your vocabulary with our core 2,000 words ebook. It's free and packed with essential expressions that you'll use on a daily basis. Start building your vocabulary today. Click the link in the description below to download your free Russian ebook before it's gone. Hi everyone! Welcome to the Ultimate Russian Pronunciation Guide. In this series, you'll master Russian pronunciation. Proper pronunciation is essential in Russian, and in this series, you'll learn it in a fast, comprehensive, and easy way. In this first lesson, you'll learn about the building blocks of the Russian pronunciation system that will help you in future lessons. The Russian alphabetical writing system is derived from the Cyrillic script, which is one of the most commonly used writing systems in the world. The Russian alphabet is made up of 33 letters, consisting of 21 consonants, 10 vowels, and 2 extra letters which act as modifiers. But be careful not to fall into a very common trap. As you're learning to speak correctly, you shouldn't concern yourself with all the letters. That's right, forget them. You care about the sounds of Russian, and here they are. There are 37 consonant sounds and 13 vowel sounds. Each symbol that you see here represents a single sound determined by the IPA, which is a standardized way to represent sounds without the baggage that's usually involved with traditional letters. By using all of these sounds, you can form every single word in Russian. Have you noticed how most consonant sounds in Russian exist in pairs? K, ki, m, mi. In each pair, there is the original pronunciation of the consonant sound, k, and that same sound, but with an added Y sound, ki. Nearly all consonant sounds in Russian exist in this kind of pairing. So if you know how to pronounce the original sound, it's quite easy to figure out its counterpart simply by adding an additional Y sound. Still seem complicated? Well, how about this? Of the 37 consonant sounds in Russian, you already know 15 of the original sounds. That's right. If you're a native English speaker, then you already make these sounds every day. You can also ignore 10 of the vowel sounds for the very same reason. With just a tiny bit of effort and creativity, you could effectively ignore 14 more consonant sounds simply by adding a Y sound to the ones that you already know. The only thing standing between you and perfect Russian pronunciation is 8 new consonant sounds and 3 new vowel sounds. You can handle that. Now let me introduce Katya, who will be helping you to master these new sounds.
Привет, меня зовут Катя.
Katya will be giving you native pronunciation examples for you to imitate. But for this first lesson, just sit back and listen to the unique sounds of Russian.
Рыба, горло, река, 3, синий, есть, щетка, щель, цель, отец, чай, часы, жест, тяжелый, дрожжи, езжу, ты, мы, южный, юноша, Россия, молоко.
In the next lesson, we'll look at the top 5 pronunciation mistakes Russian learners make. You'll want to make sure not to fall into these common traps. After that, we'll begin going through the vowels and consonants of Russian. This is your chance to learn how to correctly say all of the words you just heard. We'll finish up the series by covering some special topics that will really make your Russian sound natural. To close this lesson, here's a question for you. Why is it important to spend time on learning proper pronunciation, even if you're already an advanced speaker? The answer, you will be understood, and this will help you build more confidence as you communicate in Russian. For beginners, you're creating a strong foundation to build on. And for more advanced students, this is your chance to improve your accent and lose any bad habits you may have picked up. What is the hardest part of Russian pronunciation? Tell us about it in the comments. See you in the next Ultimate Russian Pronunciation Guide lesson. Hi everyone, welcome to the Ultimate Russian Pronunciation Guide. In this lesson, you'll learn the top 5 Russian pronunciation mistakes to avoid. These are common mistakes that Russian learners tend to make, so pay close attention and make sure that you don't make these same mistakes too. Are you ready? Then let's get started. This is a rare sound that doesn't exist in many languages. Many Russian learners are unable to pronounce this vowel simply because it's unfamiliar to them. When Russian learners attempt to pronounce this vowel, they tend to pronounce it as
I.
instead of.
I.
This is an issue because the former sound is another vowel in Russian. Consider these two words.
Бить. Быть.
These two words sound very similar, but their meanings are completely different. It is essential that you're able to clearly distinguish between the two vowels.
I. I.
The inability to do so could lead to some very problematic misunderstandings. We'll cover this sound in the next lesson. Stay tuned so that you can correct this common mistake. This is another letter that's difficult for Russian learners to deal with. The soft sign is a letter that acts like a modifier. It doesn't produce any sound on its own, but is instead used to affect a preceding letter's sound quality by adding palatalization. The problem arises when speakers pronounce words without paying attention to the tiny soft sign. Compare the following examples. Listen to Katya and pay attention to the way it's pronounced in the following words.
Брат. Брать. Угол. Уголь. Мать. Мат.
Sometimes the soft sign may be the only quality that distinguishes two words. As you can see, ignoring the soft sign will undoubtedly lead to miscommunication. But don't worry, we'll teach you all about these sounds and palatalization throughout this series.
Щ.
This is another difficult sound for Russian learners. It should sound similar to the SH-CH sound in the words fresh cheese, but a little softer, or like the SH in the words ship or sheep. Be careful though, because it's not the same as the sh in shock. The sh in ship forces the tongue to be raised higher than in words like shock. Listen carefully to the way that Katya pronounces this consonant.
Щ. Щ. Плащ. Щука. Щетка.
Notice how it sounds a little more constricted and tense. It also sounds slightly longer than other consonants. If you want to know how to pronounce this sound correctly, stay tuned until Lesson 6, where we break it down in detail. There are many different ways to construct statements and questions in Russian, either with or without the use of interrogative words like what, why, when, how, and so forth. And because of this fact, things can get quite chaotic when improper intonation is used. Intonation can transform a statement into a question, and vice versa in Russian. Many students of Russian don't pay much attention to intonation. Without the proper intonation, however, it's very difficult for native listeners to judge whether the utterance is a statement or a question. Compare the following examples.
Это музей. Это музей?
The first example is a statement, meaning, this is a museum. The second is a question, meaning, is this a museum? As you can see, changing the intonation alone can change the meaning of a sentence entirely. Improper use of intonation can lead to very problematic communication. Try to pay attention to the way native Russians pronounce sentences and try to imitate them. Don't beat yourself up if you don't get it straight away, though, because intonation usually comes naturally the more you study a language.
Й. И.
Many letters in Russian look very similar, and this can be a difficult problem for new learners. This is particularly true for these two letters.
Й.
Is a consonant, and it sounds like the Y sound in boy.
И.
Is actually a vowel, even though it looks very similar to the previous letter. It sounds like the I sound in visa. Consider the following examples.
Мой. Мои. Твой. Твои.
Clearly, failing to recognize these two letters will result in the wrong pronunciation. Try to be mindful of these two letters and other letters that may look alike in Russian. Now you know the top 5 Russian pronunciation mistakes to avoid. Try to be careful so that you don't make these same mistakes. In the next lesson, we'll start learning Russian vowel sounds. What's your biggest challenge with Russian pronunciation? Is it one of these top 5 mistakes? Let us know in the comments. Stick with us and you'll overcome it quickly. See you in the next Ultimate Russian Pronunciation Guide lesson. Hi everyone! Welcome to the Ultimate Russian Pronunciation Guide. In this lesson, you'll learn all 13 Russian vowel sounds. By learning all of these sounds, you'll be able to pronounce any vowel that could possibly appear in Russian. Are you ready? Then let's get started. There are a total of 13 vowel sounds in Russian, all of which can be broken down into 3 categories: hard indicating, soft indicating, and unstressed vowel sounds. First, let's take a look at all 5 hard indicating vowel sounds. The first vowel is
А, да, атом, трава,
This vowel sound is identical to the A in far. Be sure to lower your jaw and allow the mouth to open completely.
А, 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 А,
The next vowel is
это, экран, жест,
This vowel sound is identical to the E in education.
э, 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 э,
The next vowel is
ты, мы, язык,
Raise the middle part of your tongue all the way to the roof of your mouth until there's only a tiny opening for air to travel through. The back of the tongue should be flat against the back roof of the mouth so that the tongue is tense. Try to create a narrow channel from the base of the throat all the way to the roof of the mouth. Your lips should remain neutral. Listen to Katya.
и, 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 и,
The next vowel is
о, он, облако, овощи,
This vowel sound is very similar to the O in or. Exaggerating the lip rounding may also help with the pronunciation of this sound.
о, 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 о,
The final hard indicating vowel is
удочка, муж, пуля,
This vowel sound is identical to the U in true. Be sure to raise the back part of your tongue all the way up against the back roof of your mouth. Exaggerating your lip rounding may also help with the pronunciation of this sound.
у, 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 у.
You just learned 5 hard indicating vowel sounds. Now let's move on to soft indicating vowel sounds.
Я, яблоко, ягода, яхта,
This is identical to the yaw sound in yard. Be sure to lower your jaw and allow your mouth to open completely.
я, 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 я,
The next vowel is
есть, евро, ездить,
It sounds very similar to the ye in year.
е, 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 е.
The next vowel is
И, имя, пить, щи,
It's identical to the double E sound in C.
и, 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 и.
The next vowel is
Ё. Тётя. Актер. Своё.
it sounds very similar to the yo in your.
Ё. 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 Ё.
The final soft indicating vowel is
Ю. Южный. Юбка. Юноша.
it sounds very similar to you. Be sure to raise the back part of your tongue all the way up against the back roof of your mouth. Exaggerating your lip rounding may also help with the pronunciation of this sound.
Ю. 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 Ю.
Well done! You've learned all the hard and soft indicating vowels in Russian. The final 3 vowel sounds are sounds that are only produced when certain vowels are in unstressed syllables. The first vowel sound that occurs in unstressed syllables is
А. Россия. Молоко. Вода.
this is similar to the U in Russell. The key part here is to pronounce it quickly.
А. 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 А.
The next vowel sound is
А. Облако. Новая. Кожа.
it's identical to the A in about. When practicing, make sure you pronounce it about instead of about.
А. 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 А.
The final sound that occurs in unstressed syllables and the final vowel sound for this lesson is
Е. Еда. Язык. Дерево.
it's identical to the YI in yippee. The key part here is to pronounce it quickly.
Е. 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 Е.
Well done! You've just learned all 13 vowel sounds in Russian. With these sounds, you can pronounce any vowel that could possibly appear in the Russian language. Isn't that great? Which vowel sound was the most difficult for you to pronounce? Let us know in the comments. In the next lesson, you'll start learning consonant sounds. See you in the next Ultimate Russian Pronunciation Guide lesson. Hi everyone! Welcome to the Ultimate Russian Pronunciation Guide. In this lesson, you'll learn 11 Russian consonant sounds.
Б. Б. Д. Д. Ф. Ф. Г. Г. Е. К. К.
Have you noticed how most consonant sounds are in pairs? That's because in Russian, consonants can be classified as either a hard or a soft consonant based on palatalization. We'll learn more about hard and soft consonants and palatalization in Lesson 7. For now, just focus primarily on pronouncing each of these sounds properly. Are you ready? Then let's get started. The first consonant is
Б. Бок. Небо.
it sounds like the B in the word by.
Б. 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 Б.
And here's the soft version.
Б. Беглый. Воробей.
This is almost like saying a B and a Y sound at the same time. To produce the soft versions of a consonant, raise the middle part of your tongue to the roof of your mouth, as if you're about to say the word yeah, and try to pronounce it alongside the consonant. Speakers of English can sometimes produce this sound when they say the word beautiful.
B. 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 B.
The next consonant is
Д. Дом. Дверь.
like the D in the word dad, except in Russian the D sounds a little heavier. Stress this consonant more than you would in English by flattening the tip and the blade of your tongue behind the back of your teeth.
Д. 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 Д.
And here's the soft version.
Д. Делать. Владимир.
Pronounce the D sound like you did before, but remember to raise your tongue to the roof of your mouth to produce a slight Y sound alongside it. Try to pronounce it at the same time or immediately after pronouncing the consonant. You can sometimes pronounce this sound by saying the word adieu.
Д. 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 Д.
The next consonant is
Ф. Фата. Орфография.
like the F in the word find.
Ф. 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 Ф.
And here's the soft version.
Фи. Фея. Фьорд.
Some English speakers can pronounce this sound when saying the word few.
Фи. 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 Фи.
The next consonant is
Г. Говорю. Другой.
like the G in the word good.
Г. 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 Г.
And here's the soft version.
Ги. Гербарий. Ноги.
It's similar to the G in the word argue.
Ги. 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 Ги.
The next consonant is
Й. Май. Йог.
like the Y in the word yes.
Й. 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 Й.
The next consonant is
К. Кость. Книга.
like the K in the word kangaroo.
К. 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 К.
The final consonant for this lesson is
Ки. Кино. Кимоно.
it's similar to the C in the word cute.
Ки. 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 Ки.
Well done! You just learned your first 11 Russian consonants. Was seeing the pronunciation illustrations helpful? Please comment and share your thoughts. In the next lesson, you'll learn 14 more consonant sounds in Russian. See you in the next Ultimate Russian Pronunciation Guide lesson. Hi everyone! Welcome to the Ultimate Russian Pronunciation Guide. In this lesson, you'll learn 14 Russian consonant sounds.
Л, Л, М, М, Н, Н, П, П, Р, Р, С, С, Ш, Щ.
Nearly half of these consonant sounds are identical to the ones in English. So if you know English, some of them will already be familiar to you. Are you ready? Then let's get started. The first consonant is
Л, Луна, Лук.
It's like the L in the word look, except in Russian the L sounds a little heavier. Stress this consonant more than you would in English by flattening the tip and the blade of your tongue behind the back of your teeth.
Л, Л. Л, Л.
And here's the soft version.
Л, Лес. Колено.
This is almost like saying an L and a Y sound at the same time. Attempt to pronounce an L sound with the tip of your tongue touching the bottom teeth. The front part of your tongue should cause an obstruction with your upper teeth, while the center part of your tongue should be raised to the roof of your mouth. Listen to Katya.
Л, Л. Л, Л.
The next consonant is
М. Мыло. Там.
like the M in the word mouse.
М. 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 М.
And here's the soft version.
М. Мясо. Мел.
Some English speakers can produce this sound by saying the word mute.
М. 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 М.
The next consonant is
Н. Нос. Он.
like the N in the word nice, except in Russian the N sounds a little heavier. Stress this consonant more than you would in English by flattening the tip and the blade of your tongue against the back of your teeth. The tip of your tongue should touch your bottom teeth, while the front of your tongue should touch your upper teeth.
Н. 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 Н.
And here's the soft version.
Не. Няня. Они.
This is identical to the previous N sound, but with the middle part of your tongue raised to the roof of your mouth. It's a little bit like the N in the word newt.
Не. 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 Не.
The next consonant is
П. Пыль. Скрип.
like the P in the word pipe.
П. 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 П.
And here's the soft version.
Пи. Пепел. Пить.
This is almost like saying a P and a Y sound at the same time. As you bring your lips together to pronounce the P sound, raise the middle part of your tongue to the roof of your mouth and release. Listen to Katya.
Пи. 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 Пи.
The next consonant is
Р. Рыба. горло,
This is also known as a rolled R or a Spanish R. Contact the gums directly behind your top teeth with the tip of your tongue, build pressure behind the gums, and release. The small passage created by the gums and the tongue should open and close rapidly, as if your tongue is fluttering or vibrating against the gums. It almost sounds like a rapid D sound. When you build up pressure behind the tip of the tongue, rapidly brush the tip up and back against the gum ridge. As you do so, you should feel a vibrating sensation behind your gum ridge. It's like striking your gum ridge and then again behind the gum ridge with the tip of your tongue in one quick up and back motion. Listen to Katya.
р, 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 р,
And here's the soft version.
ре, река, 3,
This is exactly like the previous sound, but with the blade of your tongue raised to the roof of your mouth.
ре, 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 ре,
The next consonant is
с, собака, нос,
like the S in the word sand.
с, 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 с,
And here's the soft version.
с, синий, осьминог,
Some English speakers can produce this sound when saying the word assume.
с, 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 с,
The next consonant is
ш, шарф, шутка,
This is similar to the sh sound in the word sure. Compared to English, however, the sh sound is much harsher in Russian. The easiest way to pronounce this sound properly is to first try and pronounce an R sound. Your tongue should be curled up behind your gum ridge as opposed to being in front of it. Now, with your tongue in that position, try to make a sh sound at the same time. Practice with the word sure repeatedly in this manner.
ш, 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 ш,
And the final consonant for this lesson is
щ, щетка, щель,
This is another sh sound that's comparable to the sh sound in the English word ship. Unlike English, however, which uses the tip of the tongue, Russian requires you to use the middle part of your tongue to approximate the region behind the gum ridge. The center of the tongue should be raised to the roof of the mouth to cause a narrow channel from the throat all the way to the teeth. Round and protrude your lips. Also, you'll need to emphasize this sound by holding it longer than you would normally with other sounds.
щ, 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 щ.
Well done! You just learned another 14 Russian consonants. Are there more familiar sounds than you expected? Let us know if you have questions in the comments. In the next lesson, you'll learn 12 more consonant sounds. See you in the next Ultimate Russian Pronunciation Guide lesson. Hi everyone! Welcome to the Ultimate Russian Pronunciation Guide. In this lesson, you'll learn the final 12 Russian consonant sounds.
Т, Т, Ц, Ч, В, В, Х, Х, З, З, Ж, Ж.
Nearly half of these consonant sounds are identical to the ones in English, so if you know English, some of them will already be familiar to you. Are you ready? Then let's get started. The first consonant is
Т, тот. Читаю.
This is like the T in the word take, except in Russian, the T sounds a little heavier. Stress this consonant more than you would in English by flattening the tip and blade of the tongue against the upper teeth. The tip of the tongue should touch the lower teeth, while the front part of the tongue should be touching the upper teeth.
T, 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 T,
And here's the soft version.
Т. Читать. Дитя.
This is almost like saying a T and a Y sound at the same time. Try to pronounce the previous T sound while keeping the middle part of your tongue close to the roof of your mouth. Listen to Katya.
Т. 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 Т.
The next consonant is
Ц. Цель. Отец.
This consonant sound is like a combination of a T and an S sound. It starts off as a T sound, but ends with an S sound. You can pronounce this sound by saying cats or tsunami.
Ц. 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 Ц.
The next consonant is
Ч. Чай. Часы.
This is similar to the ch sound in church. Unlike English, however, which focuses on the tip of the tongue contacting the gum ridge, the Russian ch sound uses the blade of the tongue to contact the area behind the gum ridge, closer to the roof of the mouth. This should produce a narrow channel from your throat all the way to the back part of the gum ridge. Protrude your lips as you pronounce this sound.
Ч. 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 Ч.
The next consonant is
В. Ваш. Давать.
like the V in veal.
В. 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 В.
And here's the soft version.
В. Вести. Человек.
Some English speakers can pronounce this sound when saying the word view.
В. 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 В.
The next consonant is
Х. Ходить. Ухо.
This is exactly like a prolonged K sound. The trick is to attempt to pronounce a K sound, but as your tongue and the back roof of the mouth make contact, slowly blow a constant stream of air through the opening until you get a turbulent sound. The key is to blow the air through the opening without cutting off the airstream completely or allowing it to pass through unobstructed. It's the same as the CH sound in words like yech, bach, or Loch Ness.
Х. 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 Х.
And here's the soft version.
Х. Химия. Хьюстон.
This is identical to the previous sound, but with the middle part of the tongue raised to the roof of the mouth.
Х. 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 Х.
The next consonant is
З. Заяц. Язык.
This is like the Z in zoo, except in Russian the tongue is positioned lower. The tip of the tongue should rest behind the bottom teeth, while the blade of the tongue makes contact with the top teeth.
З. 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 З.
And here's the soft version.
З. Зеленый. Озеро.
This is identical to the previous sound, but with the middle part of the tongue raised to the roof of the mouth.
З. 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 З.
The next consonant is
Ж. Жест. Тяжелый.
It's similar to the S in words like measure or pleasure. Unlike English, however, the tip of the tongue should be further back in the mouth. The tip of your tongue should be curled up behind the gum ridge as opposed to being in front of it.
Ж. 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 Ж.
The final consonant sound is
Ж. Дрожжи. Заезжать.
This is similar to the previous sound, but instead of curling the tip of your tongue behind the gum ridge, try using the blade of your tongue instead. Also, you'll need to emphasize this sound by holding it longer than you would normally with other sounds.
Ж. 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 Ж.
Well done! You just learned another 12 Russian consonants. We've covered every single sound that could possibly appear in the Russian language. You can now properly pronounce anything in Russian. Isn't that great? How difficult were they to learn? Please comment and share your thoughts. In the next lesson, you'll learn about palatalization in Russian. See you in the next Ultimate Russian Pronunciation Guide lesson. Hi everyone! Welcome to the Ultimate Russian Pronunciation Guide. In this lesson, you'll learn about Russian palatalization. It is imperative that you get a firm understanding of the content in this lesson because palatalization is a major component of Russian. Consonant sounds in Russian are heavily influenced by their neighboring sounds. There are many instances where a letter's pronunciation will change based on the sounds that follow it. There are generally two ways of pronouncing a consonant letter in Russian: hard,
К.
or soft.
К.
The hard version is said to be non-palatalized, while the soft version is said to be palatalized. But what is palatalization? Palatalization refers to a way of pronouncing a consonant in which part of the tongue, usually the middle part, known as the blade of the tongue, moves closer to the roof of the mouth. When this happens, a Y-like sound quality is added to the consonant sound. Notice how in the previous example, the hard version sounded like an English K sound,
К.
while the soft version, although still sounding like a K sound, has an added Y-like quality to it.
К.
That's because the tongue lays flat in the hard version, but is raised in the soft version. This difference in tongue positioning is the sole factor that determines the hardness or softness of a consonant, and this is what we refer to as palatalization. Now you know the difference between a hard and a soft consonant, but which pronunciation should you use, and when? Enter these two Russian letters, the hard sign and the soft sign. These two Russian letters are special because they do not produce any sounds on their own. Instead, they modify the sound that precedes them. As you might have guessed, the hard sign indicates that you must pronounce the preceding consonant as hard or non-palatalized, while the soft sign indicates that you must pronounce the preceding consonant as soft or palatalized.
Б. Объект. Б. Бьорк.
Simple, right? But these two letters aren't the only ones that can modify a consonant's pronunciation. Vowels, too, can change the hardness or softness of a preceding consonant. Similar to consonants, there are also hard and soft varieties of vowels. Unlike consonants, however, each hard and soft vowel is represented by a letter, so they don't require the use of modifiers like the hard or soft sign to indicate their pronunciation. We can categorize them as hard indicating vowels and soft indicating vowels. Like consonants, palatalization works the same way for vowels.
А. Я. О. Ё.
Okay, let's review what we've learned so far. We know that two special letters and all vowels have the ability to determine the palatalization of a preceding consonant. These letters will make the pronunciation of a preceding consonant hard, and all of these letters will make the pronunciation of a preceding consonant soft. Now consider this example. Using the chart to assist you, try to guess the proper pronunciation for this word. The first letter is a vowel. Using the chart, we can see that it's a hard vowel, so it'll be pronounced hard.
O,
The second letter is a consonant. Will this be the hard or soft pronunciation? The hard sign here indicates that it's a hard consonant, so it'll also be pronounced hard.
B,
Next is a vowel. It's a soft vowel, so it'll be pronounced soft.
Е,
The letter after that is a consonant. How would this consonant be pronounced? As you can see, we've run into a slight problem. There's no sign to indicate whether it's hard or soft, and the letter after that isn't a vowel either. So how is this consonant meant to be pronounced? The answer is hard. Consonant clusters, meaning a group of consonants that do not have an intervening vowel, like this one, take on the palatalization quality of the final consonant in that cluster. Look at the KT consonant cluster in this example. The K and any preceding consonants in that cluster will take on the palatalization quality of the final letter in that cluster, in this case, T. The reason that the T has a hard pronunciation, even though no vowel or modifier is apparent, is because the hard sign is omitted. In modern times, the hard sign is often omitted, particularly at the end of a word. Words which would have had the hard sign at the end in the past are omitted in the present day. This would mean that unless the final letter ends with a soft sign or a vowel, all consonants in the final position will be pronounced hard. Since the T is hard, the K must also be pronounced hard as well. If the T had been soft, the pronunciation of all consonants that precede the T in that cluster must also be pronounced soft. Unlike the hard sign, however, the soft sign is never omitted. In this example, then, the final two letters are pronounced with the hard pronunciation.
Kt,
Altogether,
объект,
now you know all the rules about Russian palatalization. See if you can guess the pronunciation of the following words. The first one is
мат,
this vowel is a hard vowel, which indicates that the first consonant must also be pronounced hard. The final consonant doesn't have any signs or vowels following it, so it too must be pronounced hard.
мат,
What about this one?
мать,
This vowel is a hard vowel, which indicates that the first consonant must also be pronounced hard. The final letter is a soft sign, which indicates that the consonant preceding it must also be pronounced soft.
мать,
Here's the last one.
нести,
The first vowel is a soft vowel, which indicates that the first consonant must be pronounced soft. Next, we have a consonant cluster, and finally, a vowel. Since the final vowel is a soft vowel, we must pronounce the preceding consonant and all consonants in that cluster as soft.
нести.
Well done! In this lesson, you learned about Russian palatalization. In the next lesson, you'll learn about voicing in Russian. How did you do on the quiz? Please share your results in the comments. See you in the next Ultimate Russian Pronunciation Guide lesson. Hi everyone! Welcome to the Ultimate Russian Pronunciation Guide. In the previous lesson, we saw how neighboring sounds can influence a consonant's pronunciation through palatalization. In this lesson, we'll explore how neighboring sounds can influence a consonant's voicing. But what is voicing? Voicing is a term used to characterize the vibration or lack of vibration of the vocal cords during the articulation of a given sound. A sound can be categorized into two classifications, voiced or voiceless. A voiced sound is one in which the vocal cords vibrate. A voiceless sound is one in which the vocal cords do not vibrate. Consider these English sounds. Did you know that a relationship exists between these pairs of sounds? P, b, f, v, s, z, t, d, k, g. Each pair differs only in their voicing. All the sounds on the left side are voiceless, while all the sounds on the right are voiced. Touch your throat and produce an S sound. Now try a Z sound. Notice how your throat vibrates when you produce a Z sound, but does not vibrate when you produce an S sound. In fact, the mouth and tongue positions between an S and a Z sound are exactly the same. The only thing that differs between them is the vibration of the vocal cords, and this is what we refer to as voicing. Now that you understand what voicing is, let's bring our attention back to Russian. The Russian language has a tendency to devoice final consonants. Consider the following examples.
Зуб. Город.
Notice how in the first example, the final consonant letter, which would normally be pronounced as a B sound, is actually pronounced as a P sound, so it sounds voiceless instead. Listen to it again.
Зуб.
The final consonant letter in the second example, which would normally be pronounced as a D sound, is actually pronounced as a T sound.
Город.
What about this word? Can you guess what pronunciation the final consonant has in this word? This consonant usually produces a V sound, but since it's in the final position, we must devoice it to get the proper pronunciation. Doing this will cause the V sound to change into an F sound, which is indeed the proper pronunciation for this word.
Строганов.
Some voicing rules also apply to consonant clusters. Remember the palatalization rules for consonant clusters from the previous lesson? Well, voicing rules apply in exactly the same way as palatalization rules when it comes to consonant clusters. The final element in the cluster will determine if the whole cluster is either voiced or voiceless. In other words, if the final consonant of a cluster is voiced, all preceding consonants in that cluster must also be voiced.
Т. ТБ. Футбол.
And if the final consonant of a cluster is unvoiced, all preceding consonants in that cluster must also be unvoiced.
Д. ДК. Водка.
Keep in mind that the spelling itself does not change, only the pronunciation. Some letters, however, have no effect on a preceding consonant's voicing. Notice how all of these voiced letters do not make any of the preceding voiceless consonants become voiced.
Л. Пл. Плен. М. См. Смех. Н. Кн. Кнопка. Р. Тр. Три. В. Кв. Квартира.
Remember that these are the exceptions. Voicing rules will apply for all letters except these 5 specifically. In this lesson, you learned about voicing in Russian. In the next lesson, you'll learn about stress and vowel reduction. Are there any voicing rules that you know of in your language? Share them in the comments. See you in the next Ultimate Russian Pronunciation Guide lesson. Hi everyone! Welcome to the Ultimate Russian Pronunciation Guide. In this lesson, you'll learn about stress and vowel reduction. Stress refers to the prominence or relative emphasis placed on certain syllables in a word. When you say the word unbelievable, for example, do you notice how the li is accentuated? That's because it's pronounced longer and louder than any other syllable, and this is what we refer to as stress. Consider the word for flour in Russian.
Мука.
Notice how the final syllable is emphasized.
Мука.
If we were to stress the first syllable instead,
Мука.
the meaning changes completely, and we get a new word.
Мука.
Both words are exactly identical. The only thing that differs between them, however, is their stress. As you can see, the incorrect placement of stress can lead to dire misunderstanding. Therefore, it's incredibly important to recognize where the stress is placed when learning a new word. See if you can guess where the stress is placed in the following examples.
Тревога. Тревожный. Тревожить.
Did you get it? The stress is placed consistently on the second vowel. What about these two words?
Земля. Приземистый.
The stress is on the final vowel in the first example, but moves to the root of the word in the second example. Here's the last one.
Чувство. Чувственный. Чувствительный.
Did you get it right? In each of the examples shown, each set shares the same root word. The stress may remain on one syllable in one example, but can shift unpredictably in another example. Unfortunately, this is true for most words in Russian. The stress placement is very random and will change from word to word. While there are stress rules in Russian, they are often so complex and littered with exceptions that you cannot reliably use them. The only surefire way to ensure that you stress the right syllable is to check with a dictionary that indicates stress, or better yet, listen to native speakers and imitate how they say it. Now that you've learned about stress in Russian, let's move on to vowel reduction. Vowel reduction is the weakening of a vowel via a decrease in volume, a shortening of the duration, or a change in the articulation of the vowel, causing it to become less prominent. Due to this weakening, the pronunciation and therefore the sound of the vowel itself will change. Consider this English example. It's pronounced about. But in many dialects, or during rapid speech, it'll often be pronounced about. This is a perfect example demonstrating the reduction of the letter A. Less energy is required to produce an sound than it is to produce an A sound because your tongue is in the center, rest position, as opposed to the A sound, which requires you to open and widen your mouth. While this may not seem like very much, in situations where the tongue has to move from one corner of the mouth to the opposing corner, it can become very tiresome and impractical for everyday speech. Just imagine how unnatural it would be talking to someone who insists on enunciating every single letter. Okay, now that you have a sense of what vowel reduction is, let's bring our attention back to Russian. In Russian, vowels will tend to undergo reduction if they are part of an unstressed syllable. This means that for vowels that are in unstressed syllables, the tongue becomes lazy and will want to stay closer to the center of the mouth, and so the vowel sound will change accordingly. But don't worry, we already covered every single vowel sound in Lesson 3. So if you've been studying properly, then you already know how to pronounce all of these sounds. And since you learned about stress in this lesson, identifying the unstressed syllables should be easy. The good news is that a handful of Russian vowels will remain unchanged, so these rules will not apply to them. We have 4 reduction rules in Russian. Rule number 1. When unstressed,
О,
will sound like
А,
if it's in the syllable immediately before the stressed syllable.
окно, Москва,
Notice how it's pronounced differently than the way it's spelt.
окно, Москва,
Keep in mind that this only applies if the vowel appears in the syllable immediately before the stressed syllable. Rule number 2. When unstressed,
Е, Я,
will sound like
И, Е,
listen to a few examples.
мечта, сестра,
Rule number 3. When unstressed,
О, А,
will sound like
А,
in any unstressed syllable that isn't the one immediately before the stressed syllable.
крепко, лампа,
Last one. Rule number 4. When unstressed,
Е, Я,
will sound like
Е,
in some noun endings and these forms of adjective endings.
дядя, номер, новая.
In this lesson, you learned about stress and vowel reduction in Russian. In the next lesson, we'll review everything that we learned in this series and test you on the material. Can you think of any vowel reductions in your language? Share it in the comments. See you in the next Ultimate Russian Pronunciation Guide lesson. Hi everyone! Welcome to the Ultimate Russian Pronunciation Guide. You've made it to the last lesson. Do you feel more confident about speaking in Russian now? In this last lesson, we'll wrap things up by quizzing you on the material that we've covered in this series. Make sure to practice out loud with this lesson. You know all the parts and pieces, but can you speak Russian with a natural accent? If you've been quiet up until now, be sure to speak out loud with Katya. Are you ready? Let's go. You probably knew this word before you started this series, but do you know how to pronounce it correctly? Give it a shot.
Щетка,
Did you pronounce this sound correctly? It should sound similar to sheep, but instead of using the tip of the tongue, use the middle part of the tongue to create the sh sound. Also, it should be pronounced further back behind your gum ridge with the middle part of your tongue raised to the roof of your mouth. Listen to Katya again.
щетка,
We covered this sound back in lesson 5. Let's move on to the next one. How would you pronounce these words?
Отъезд. Тьма.
Did you use the proper hard and soft pronunciations for each consonant? Listen to it again.
Отъезд. Тьма.
The T in the first example uses a hard pronunciation due to the hard sign, while the second uses the soft pronunciation because of the soft sign. We covered hard and soft consonants and palatalization in lesson 7. What about these words?
Лев. Клуб.
Did you remember to devoice the final consonant? The final consonant in the first example should be pronounced as an F, while the second should be pronounced as a P. Many Russian words have a tendency to devoice the final consonant, so don't be fooled. They are pronounced differently than how they are spelled. Listen to it again.
Лев. Клуб.
We covered voicing rules back in lesson 8. Here's the last one.
Вода.
Could you identify which syllable was stressed? If so, you would have identified that this vowel's pronunciation changes when it appears before the stressed syllable. This is rule number 1 of vowel reduction in Russian, which we learned about in the previous lesson. Listen to it again.
Вода.
How did it go? Do you feel like you have a better accent than you did at the beginning of this series? What parts of Russian pronunciation are still difficult for you? Good luck as you continue learning Russian. Bye! Hi everyone, I'm Alicia. Welcome to Conversational Phrases. We've found that the best way to learn a language is to speak it from day one. And the best way to start speaking is to learn phrases that you'll use in real conversations. In this lesson, you'll learn conversational phrases to ask and answer the question, how do you say this? After watching this video, you'll be able to ask someone how a word is pronounced. And if you want to learn more vocabulary, phrases, and example sentences you can use in real-life situations, click the link in the description to download your How to Say Something PDF cheat sheet for free. Now, let's take a look at some conversational phrases.
Listen to the dialogue.
Как это называется?
Это называется парковка.
Once more with the English translation.
Как это называется?
How do you say this?
Это называется парковка.
It's parking lot. First of all, you'll need to learn how to say, how do you say this? That's,
Как это называется?
listen to it again.
Как это называется? Как это называется?
This Russian sentence literally translates into, how is it named? But it means, how do you say this in English? Now, how do you answer this question? The pattern is,
Это называется.
word. This Russian sentence literally translates into, it word, but it means, it's word in English. For example, it's parking lot.
Это называется парковка. Это называется парковка.
Here are a few useful words you can use with the same pattern. Parking lot,
Парковка. Парковка.
giraffe,
Жираф. Жираф.
travel,
Путешествие. Путешествие.
invasion,
Вторжение. Вторжение.
Let's look at some examples. Listen and repeat or speak along with the native speakers.
Как это называется?
Это называется жираф.
Как это называется?
Это называется путешествие.
Как это называется?
Это называется вторжение.
Okay, now it's your turn. Do you remember how to say, how do you say this?
Как это называется?
Imagine it's the word giraffe. Do you remember how to say giraffe?
Жираф. Жираф.
Say, it's giraffe.
Это называется жираф.
Now answer the question saying, it's giraffe.
Как это называется?
Это называется жираф.
Now imagine the word is travel. Do you remember how to say travel?
Путешествие. Путешествие.
Say, it's travel.
Это называется путешествие.
Now answer the question saying it's travel.
Как это называется?
Это называется путешествие.
Now imagine the word is invasion. Do you remember how to say invasion?
Вторжение. Вторжение.
Say, it's invasion.
Это называется вторжение.
Now answer the question saying it's invasion.
Как это называется?
Это называется вторжение.
Most people who learn a foreign language learn it so that they can one day have real-life conversations with native speakers. When you start out learning and crack open your first textbook or listen to your first podcast, having a real conversation can feel like a fantasy. When everything about a language feels new, it can be overwhelming. But this couldn't be further from the truth. While it does take a significant amount of time and effort to become fluent, having a conversation might not be as far off as you think. In this video, we'll look at 3 ways you can boost your conversational skills and start talking to native speakers. Number 1, find native speakers and practice with them. It's unlikely you live near a big group of native speakers to practice with. If you happen to be in a major or international city, your chances may be better. Check and see if your city has a general language exchange. Chances are there could be a native speaker there who is also trying to learn another language. Practicing in person with a native speaker is probably the most interesting option for honing your speaking skills. But if you can't find anyone where you live, the next best option is to look online. Luckily for language learners, the past 10 years or so have seen an explosion in online language exchange sites. On these websites, you can search for someone who is a native speaker of your target language and is also learning your native language. The idea behind a language exchange is that you communicate with them via video or text chat, and half of the time, they help you practice your target language. And for the other half, you help them practice theirs. Practicing via an online language exchange is a highly effective way to practice your conversational skills. Number 2, work on pronunciation. Pronunciation is often an overlooked skill when it comes to learning a foreign language. Most people think of a good foreign accent as a luxury rather than a necessity. But what most people don't talk about is how having a good accent boosts your listening and comprehension skills. If you can hear a sound from a foreign language and know how to make it yourself, then you're more likely to understand native speakers when they talk at normal speed, and you're also more likely to remember any new words or phrases you come across. Having a good accent means that the language no longer sounds foreign. Instead, it sounds familiar, maybe even natural. So how do you go about perfecting your accent? The best way is to break down the language into its individual sounds. Make note of any sounds that are the same or similar to your native language and of those that are different. Of the sounds that are different, spend your time practicing the ones that you find the hardest to say correctly. After you're comfortable with the individual sounds, you can start linking together words and phrases. This is where accent practice starts to get really fun and interesting. Get your hands on some native speaker audio from a TV show, song, or podcast. Play the audio back and listen closely a few times. Take note of how words blend together in speech. Then, do your best to imitate what you hear, trying to match the speaker's emphasis and intonation. Our language learning program's playback feature is perfect for this. Record yourself and compare it to the original recording. Rinse and repeat until you're comfortable with the audio selection, and then move on to something more difficult. This is how you can break through the accent barrier and really start to make the language your own. Number 3, learn phrases, not just individual words. Learning grammar and individual words is great, but it's not the only approach you should take if you want to speak fluently. In addition to your regular grammar and vocabulary, try learning whole phrases, even if you aren't totally sure how they work grammatically. Learn phrases that are specific to your needs. It's a good idea to learn phrases that are grouped around a certain setting or subject, such as simple greetings or introductions, questions for getting to know someone, or traveling comfortably. You can even learn filler phrases, which you can use so that you have something to say when, well, you don't know what to say. Learning phrases like this will help you become conversational faster. You may not understand what you're saying literally, but as long as you know the general meaning behind the phrase and know when to use it, you'll be able to talk like a native. Eventually, your knowledge of grammar and vocabulary should catch up with the phrases you know. Learning a new language should feel like an adventure. There will be plateaus and periods in your learning where it feels like you're hitting a wall, but being able to speak with native speakers and have real conversations will help you combat language fatigue. After all, talking to someone face-to-face in a foreign language is one of the main reasons we start learning in the first place. And for even more ways to gain conversation skills, check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! Hi everyone, I'm Alicia. Welcome to Conversational Phrases. We've found that the best way to learn a language is to speak it from day one. And the best way to start speaking is to learn phrases that you'll use in real conversations. In this lesson, we'll learn conversational phrases to answer the question, what kind of movies do you like? After watching this video, you'll be able to talk about movies and ask other people about their favorite kinds of movies. And if you want to learn more vocabulary, phrases, and example sentences you can use in real-life situations, click the link in the description to download your Talking About Movies and TV PDF cheat sheet for free. Now, let's take a look at some conversational phrases.
Listen to the dialogue.
Какие фильмы вам нравятся?
Я люблю ужасы.
Once more with the English translation.
Какие фильмы вам нравятся?
What kind of movies do you like?
Я люблю ужасы.
I like horror. First of all, you'll need to learn how to say, what kind of movies do you like? That's,
Какие фильмы вам нравятся?
listen to it again.
Какие фильмы вам нравятся? Какие фильмы вам нравятся?
This Russian sentence literally translates as, what movies do you like? But it means, what kind of movies do you like? Now, how do you answer this question? The pattern is,
Я люблю.
type of movie. I like type of movie. For example, I like horror.
Я люблю ужасы. Я люблю ужасы.
Here are a few more kinds of movies you can use with the same pattern to talk about movies. Horror,
Ужасы. ужасы,
Comedy.
комедия, комедия,
Fantasy.
фэнтези, фэнтези,
Romance.
романтика, романтика.
Let's look at some examples. Listen and repeat or speak along with the native speakers.
Какие фильмы вам нравятся?
Я люблю комедии.
Какие фильмы вам нравятся?
Я люблю фэнтези.
Какие фильмы вам нравятся?
Я люблю романтику.
Okay, now it's your turn. Do you remember how to say, "What kind of movies do you like?"
Какие фильмы вам нравятся?
Imagine you like comedies. Do you remember how to say comedy?
Комедия. Комедия.
Say, "I like comedies."
Я люблю комедии.
Now answer the question saying that you like comedies.
Какие фильмы вам нравятся?
Я люблю комедии.
Now imagine that you like fantasy movies. Do you remember how to say fantasy?
Фэнтези. Фэнтези.
Say, "I like fantasy."
Я люблю фэнтези.
Now, answer the question saying you like fantasy movies.
Какие фильмы вам нравятся?
Я люблю фэнтези.
Now imagine you like romantic movies. Do you remember how to say romantic?
Романтика. Романтика.
Say, "I like romance."
Я люблю романтику.
Now answer the question saying you like romantic movies.
Какие фильмы вам нравятся?
Я люблю романтику.
You've studied for a while and are ready to talk to people and practice what you've learned. But where do you start? Starting a conversation in a new language can seem a bit intimidating. How do you just jump into it? In this video, we'll look at 5 ways to start conversations. Number 1, introduce yourself in your target language. This is usually one of the first things you learn when you start studying a new language. And sometimes starting a conversation or continuing one is as simple as introducing yourself. Number 2, talking about the weather. This is a universal talking point. People talk about the weather all over the world. And just saying, "It's really nice today," is enough to start a conversation. A great way to practice your weather conversation skills is to check out our Can-Do lesson pathway. This series of lessons teaches you how to talk about the weather in your target language. Number 3, give compliments. Compliments are a great way to start a conversation. You can compliment something about your conversation partner's city, country, or something specific to them personally. "Hey, your bag is super cute," or "That ice cream looks delicious." These kinds of compliments can lead to further conversation about what you complimented. In this case, it could be fashion or a local restaurant. This is a great way to make quick connections with people. Number 4, ask for help. For example, you can ask for directions, ask about prices, or request recommendations for restaurants or shopping spots, and let the conversation go from there. People are usually happy to lend a helping hand to tourists who are visiting their city. Number 5. Learn phrases for transactions. This can include getting a room at a hotel or telling a taxi driver where to go. When you're traveling overseas, you'll need to talk to other people in your target language. And while this might be a bit scary at first, you'll find that the people you meet are just happy that you're trying to communicate with them. So get started talking in your target language now. For even more tips on how to start conversations, check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! Hi everyone, I'm Alicia. Welcome to Conversational Phrases. We've found that the best way to learn a language is to speak it from day one, and the best way to start speaking is to learn phrases that you'll use in real conversations. Today, we'll learn conversational phrases about occupations. After watching this video, you'll be able to talk about your job and ask what somebody does for a living. And if you want to learn more vocabulary, phrases, and example sentences you can use in real-life situations, click the link in the description to download your occupation PDF cheat sheet for free. Now, let's take a look at some conversational phrases.
Listen to the dialogue.
Чем ты занимаешься? Я художник.
Listen to it again, now with the English translation.
Чем ты занимаешься?
What do you do?
Я художник.
I'm an artist. First of all, you need to learn how to say, what do you do? That's.
Чем ты занимаешься?
Listen to it again.
Чем ты занимаешься? Чем ты занимаешься?
Now, how do you answer this question? This is the pattern you'll need.
Я
Your occupation. I'm an, your occupation. For example, I'm an artist.
Я художник. Я художник.
Here are a few more professions you can use with the same pattern. Police officer,
Полицейский. Полицейский.
teacher,
Учитель. Учитель.
Учительница. Учительница.
doctor,
Врач. Врач.
engineer,
Инженер. Инженер.
Now, listen to some examples.
Чем ты занимаешься? Я учитель. Чем ты занимаешься? Я врач. Чем ты занимаешься? Я инженер.
Okay, now it's your turn. Do you remember how to say, what do you do?
Чем ты занимаешься?
Imagine you're a doctor. Do you remember how to say, doctor?
Врач. Врач.
Say, I'm a doctor.
Я врач.
Now answer the question saying that you are a doctor.
Чем ты занимаешься? Я врач.
Now, imagine you're a teacher. Do you remember how to say teacher?
Учитель. Учитель.
Say, I'm a teacher.
Я учитель.
Now, answer the question saying that you are a teacher.
Чем ты занимаешься? Я учитель.
Now, imagine you're an engineer. Do you remember how to say engineer?
Инженер. Инженер.
Say, I'm an engineer.
Я инженер.
Now, answer the question saying that you are an engineer.
Чем ты занимаешься? Я инженер.
When learning a new language, everyone should have an ultimate goal to work towards. Whether you want to be able to connect with a relative, easily order food while traveling, or go somewhere new, having an end goal for your learning can be very motivating. A popular but challenging goal is being able to speak like a native speaker. It's difficult to measure exactly when you reach this goal, and it's not something you can pick up using textbooks alone. So how do you work on making your speech more natural? That's what we're going to look at today. Here are 3 tips to help you practice talking like a native speaker. Number 1, focus on vocabulary. If your goal is to speak like a native, you might be really focused on speaking quickly or using as many complex grammar patterns as possible. But in our native languages, we're not always trying to speak as fast as possible, and we use complex grammar patterns when necessary, not to show off. Vocabulary, however, is extremely important to expressing ourselves naturally. Your choice of words can reveal a lot about you and your understanding of the language. Most learners have had the experience of using a phrasebook or a dictionary to find a word they want to use, trying the word in conversation, and getting a look of confusion from the native speaker. In some cases, although your word choice may be grammatically correct, the word may be inappropriate for the situation or totally unnatural. This is especially important in business and other formal situations, where the right level of formality and professionalism is key. Being able to understand nuances in vocabulary words can also help you understand relationships between people just by listening to the conversation. Try to listen to many different types of conversations. Listen to how people talk to their friends, their superiors, and in customer service situations. This will give you a better idea of how to talk to others naturally. In some languages, you can omit words from sentences or use more direct communication styles. It's important to be aware of these things so you can apply them yourself. Colloquialisms and slang are also commonly used in most languages. As this sort of vocabulary is always evolving, it can be difficult to keep up with the latest words. Talk with native speakers and consume media in your target language to make sure you pick up these kinds of expressions. Media is a great resource for your learning. Ultimately, knowing the appropriate vocabulary to use for each situation will really help you sound more knowledgeable. Number 2, perfect your accent. With every language, there are unique pronunciation and intonation challenges. Some languages are tonal languages, and a change in pitch can completely change the meaning of a word. Then there's the fact that most countries have multiple dialects, and so people from one area of the country may sound different from those in another. So what is the best way to listen to a wide range of accents and different pronunciations? Video and audio resources are a great way to do this. YouTube is a perfect place to start because people from all kinds of different backgrounds upload videos to the platform. You can watch educational videos, daily life vlogs, cooking shows, a travel series, whatever interests you. Pay attention to the different ways people speak. Everyone is unique. And then practice speaking like them. This kind of practice can help you sound more natural. One note, please be aware of the type of resources you're using. For example, if you find a video where a speaker uses a rare dialect, it might not be a good idea to use that for your pronunciation practice, unless you have a special reason for studying a specific accent. As a general rule, it's best to try to search for practice resources that use a standard form of the language you're studying. Number 3, copy what you hear. Do you remember how you learned to speak as a child? We rarely learned new words just listening to them or reading after we learned how. When we were little kids, we imitated the sounds we heard by repeating the sounds out loud. While you're talking to a friend, watching videos, or listening to audio in your target language, you can do this to try and replicate the way they speak. Doing this will help you work on mastering the flow of the language, your accent, intonation, and pronunciation. Of course, you might also pick up some new vocabulary this way. Make sure to repeat new words often. It's a great way to make sure you remember them. Try doing this using a number of different mediums and sources. That way, you'll be exposed to the diversity that the language offers and master the fundamentals of pronunciation. For example, you can watch and imitate several different YouTube videos and audio CDs, but try a few different sources, like different creators or different audio types, to make sure you experience a wide range of communication in your target language. If you're using our language learning program, you can even get your own teacher with Premium Plus. Your teacher can answer questions, give assignments, and even listen to your recordings and give you advice on pronunciation. Completing these kinds of lessons with a native teacher can really boost your confidence in your speaking skills. Becoming able to speak like a native is a popular goal for many people learning a new language. It feels great to be able to communicate smoothly, especially when the people you're talking to expect basic level sentences or broken communication. Try using the tips we've shared in this video to work on improving your speaking skills. Of course, it'll take time and persistence, but the reward will be more natural communication. And for even more tips on speaking, check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! Hey everyone, Alicia here. Welcome to Conversational Phrases. We've found that the best way to learn a language is to speak it from day one. And the best way to start speaking is to learn phrases that you'll use in real conversations. In this lesson, we'll learn conversational phrases to answer the question, "How's your mother?" After watching this video, you'll be able to talk about well-being and ask how someone is doing. And if you want to learn more vocabulary, phrases, and example sentences you can use in real-life situations, click the link in the description to download your Conversation About Family Well-Being PDF cheat sheet for free. Now let's take a look at some conversational phrases.
Listen to the dialogue.
Как мама? Хорошо.
Once more with the English translation.
Как мама?
How's your mother?
Хорошо.
She's fine. First of all, you'll need to learn how to say, "How's your mother?" That's.
Как мама?
Listen to it again.
Как мама? Как мама?
This Russian sentence literally means, "How, mother?" But it translates as, "How's your mother?" Now, how do you answer this question? The pattern is state of well-being. In Russian, we only say the adjective as answer. For example, she's fine.
Хорошо. Хорошо.
Here are a few expressions related to well-being that you can use with this pattern. Great.
Отлично. Отлично.
Fine.
Хорошо. Хорошо.
So-so.
Так себе. Так себе.
Not good.
Не очень. Не очень.
Let's look at some examples. Listen and repeat or speak along with the native speakers.
Как мама? Отлично. Как мама? Так себе. Как мама? Не очень.
Okay, now it's your turn. Do you remember how to say, "How's your mother?"
Как мама?
Imagine she's great. Do you remember how to say, "Great"?
Отлично. Отлично.
Say, "She's great."
Отлично.
Now, answer the question saying she's great.
Как мама? Отлично.
Now imagine she's so-so. Do you remember how to say so-so?
Так себе. Так себе.
Say, "She's so-so."
Так себе.
Now, answer the question saying she's so-so.
Как мама? Так себе.
Now imagine she's not good. Do you remember how to say not good?
Не очень. Не очень.
Say, "She's not good."
Не очень.
Now, answer the question saying she's not good.
Как мама? Не очень.
Want to speak and understand more of your target language? If so, of course, you'll need to know more words and phrases than you do now. In this video, we'll cover 5 ways to master new words and phrases fast. Number 1, use our free vocabulary list. This is a free library of vocabulary and phrase lessons for all kinds of situations. You can learn words and phrases for current events, holidays like Halloween and Thanksgiving, and useful topics like the top 10 ways to say hello, conversational phrases, and more. You'll learn phrases that you won't find in textbooks. If you want to learn extra fast, use the slideshow tool. Just tap or click on View Slideshow, then sit back and review the words and phrases. Find the vocabulary lists in the vocabulary drop-down menu on the site. These vocabulary lists are free for all users. Number 2, take the audio and video lessons. One of the best ways to learn new words is by hearing and using them in conversations. This is because it gives you the opportunity to understand how the words are actually used. In every lesson dialogue, you'll likely come across some words you don't know. But don't worry, because our teachers translate everything. When you hear the conversation again at the end of the lesson, you'll be familiar with the words you didn't know at first. Number 3, learn with our 2,000 most common words list. A quick question. How many words do you think you need for conversational fluency? 3,000? 5,000? It's actually not as many as you think. Language experts say you need about 1,500 words to reach conversational fluency. With our 2,000 most common words list, you'll get access to key vocabulary words you need to boost your conversation skills. The words are broken down into simple categories, such as adjectives, nouns, verbs, food, drinks, numbers, months, and so on. So you can go category by category and focus on what you're most interested in first. With this tip, we're not talking about paper flashcards. We're talking about the smart flashcards that you can find in our premium study tools. This is an automatic system individualized for each member based on their study needs. First, you'll use the cards to check your knowledge. Then, according to your answers, the cards will be sorted according to which words you need more practice with. Words that you struggle with will be shown to you more and more. You'll see words that you know well less often. This system helps you study more efficiently. It displays the words you need to work on and knows when you should refresh your knowledge. This helps make sure you don't forget vocabulary. In every study session, these cards will help you refresh your memory on the words you learned last time and introduce new words. Number 5. Use the words. After you learn a new word, using it right away is crucial to remembering it. So, when you're done with a lesson or a vocab list, here's something you can do. Leave a comment. Make up a sample sentence and post it in the comment section. Write it down in a notebook, or shadow the word with a lessons dialogue. Our language learning program is full of tools that can help you speak more. Just pick one and get started. If you want to unlock all of these study tools, check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! Hey everyone, Alicia here. Welcome to Conversational Phrases. We've found that the best way to learn a language is to speak it from day one. And the best way to start speaking is to learn phrases that you'll use in real conversations. In this lesson, we'll learn conversational phrases to answer the question, what's the matter? After watching this video, you'll be able to make complaints and ask someone else if they're having any issues. And if you want to learn more vocabulary, phrases, and example sentences you can use in real-life situations, click the link in the description to download your Making Complaints PDF cheat sheet for free. Now let's take a look at some conversational phrases.
Listen to the dialogue.
В чем дело?
В офисе жарко.
Once more with the English translation.
В чем дело?
What's the matter?
В офисе жарко.
The office is hot. First of all, you'll need to learn how to say, what's the matter? That's,
В чем дело?
listen to it again.
В чем дело? В чем дело?
Now, how do you answer this question? The pattern is
В офисе.
adjective. This Russian sentence literally translates into in the office adjective, but it means the office is adjective in English. For example, the office is hot.
В чем дело?
В офисе жарко.
Here are a few more examples you can use with the same pattern to make complaints. Hot,
Жарко. Жарко.
cold,
Холодно. Холодно.
noisy,
Шумно. Шумно.
dirty,
Грязно. Грязно.
Let's look at some examples. Listen and repeat or speak along with the native speakers.
В чем дело? В офисе холодно. В чем дело? В офисе шумно. В чем дело? В офисе грязно.
Okay, now it's your turn. Do you remember how to say, what's the matter?
В чем дело?
Imagine the office is cold. Do you remember how to say cold?
Холодно. Холодно.
Say, The office is cold.
В офисе холодно.
Now answer the question saying the office is cold.
В чем дело? В офисе холодно.
Now imagine the office is noisy. Do you remember how to say noisy?
Шумно. Шумно.
Say, the office is noisy.
В офисе шумно.
Now, answer the question saying the office is noisy.
В чем дело? В офисе шумно.
Now imagine the office is dirty. Do you remember how to say dirty?
Грязно. Грязно.
Say, the office is dirty.
В офисе грязно.
Now answer the question, saying the office is dirty.
В чем дело? В офисе грязно.
Want to speak your target language with confidence and impress native speakers? When learning to speak a new language, you have lots of things to think about, including grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation. Because you're thinking of all of these things and trying to speak, it can be difficult to communicate with confidence, especially in the beginning. This is why it's helpful to make confidence-building exercises part of your language learning process. In this video, you'll learn 7 ways to boost your confidence. 1. Read out loud. This might seem pretty basic, but it's a great way to practice speaking. Reading aloud lets you practice speaking without having to think about grammar or things to talk about. Reading out loud lets you focus on your pronunciation and the rhythm of the language. It can help you learn to speak more smoothly and quickly, without even thinking about it. If you're using our lessons, read the dialogue out loud as you listen. You can read along with the dialogue tool, the lesson notes, or the transcript. 2. Read like a child. This might sound strange, but think about children learning to read. They go slow and sound everything out. Maybe it takes 2 or 3 tries before they read a new word smoothly, and a few more tries before they can read it at a natural pace. This example applies to language learning too. If you find a complex sentence in something you're reading, read it slowly at first, then speed up. With practice, you'll be able to say it easily. It might feel a bit silly to speak very slowly, but this kind of practice can help you identify tough sounds you might miss or say incorrectly when reading quickly. 3. Use the dialogue breakdown tool. If you're using our site, this is a great tool to take advantage of. It breaks down lesson conversations into individual lines. You can listen to the audio for each line, learn what each line means, and can reread and review as much as you want. 4. Use the voice recorder to record and compare yourself with native speakers. Just click on the microphone icon next to each line in the dialogue section. You can use this tool to perfect your pronunciation if you like, but this is also something you can use to work on speaking with confidence at native level speed. You'll find this tool in the dialogue section of all of our lessons. 5. Repeat and review old lesson conversations. Reviewing what you've studied in the past is the best way to make sure you maintain what you've learned. Go back to older lessons, download the lesson dialogue tracks, and re-listen to the conversations again and again. Or you can reread the dialogue lines from previous lessons until you've mastered them all. 6. Shadow conversations. Repeat what you hear out loud. This tactic is important, but it can be tricky when you're doing a brand new lesson. If you're reviewing dialogues from lessons you've done though, it's super easy to do. Just listen to the dialogue and repeat what you hear. Shadowing means mimicking the speaker as soon as they speak, following their intonation and rhythms as closely as possible. 7. Send recordings to your Premium Plus teacher. If you want to speak with confidence, there's no better confidence boost than feedback from a native speaker. And you get just that with a Premium Plus teacher. You can record yourself reciting a lesson dialogue or any dialogue of your own, and your teacher will give you specific tips on how to improve. From the tips your teacher gives you, choose at least one and practice, practice, practice. Being able to react quickly and with confidence in a conversation is typically not something you can do on your first try, but if you continue practicing, you'll gradually find yourself speaking with ease. And for even more ways to build your speaking confidence, check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! Hi everyone, I'm Alicia. Welcome to Conversational Phrases. We've found that the best way to learn a language is to speak it from day one. And the best way to start speaking is to learn phrases that you'll use in real conversations. In this lesson, you'll learn conversational phrases to answer the question, what are you doing during the holiday? After watching this video, you'll be able to talk about your holiday plans. And if you want to learn more vocabulary, phrases, and example sentences you can use in real-life situations, click the link in the description to download your National Holidays PDF cheat sheet for free. Now, let's take a look at some conversational phrases.
Listen to the dialogue.
Что вы делаете на День труда?
Я собираюсь поехать на шашлыки.
Once more with the English translation.
Что вы делаете на День труда?
What are you doing for Labor Day?
Я собираюсь поехать на шашлыки.
I'm planning to go to a barbecue. First of all, you'll need to learn how to say, what are you doing for Labor Day? That's,
Что вы делаете на День труда?
listen to it again.
Что вы делаете на День труда? Что вы делаете на День труда?
Now, how do you answer this question? The pattern is
Я собираюсь.
plan. I'm planning to plan. For example, I'm planning to go to a barbecue.
Я собираюсь поехать на шашлыки. Я собираюсь поехать на шашлыки.
Here are a few more phrases you can use with the same pattern to talk about your plans. Go to a barbecue.
Поехать на шашлыки. Поехать на шашлыки.
Travel.
Путешествовать. Путешествовать.
Stay home.
Остаться дома. Остаться дома.
Go to the movies.
Пойти в кино. Пойти в кино.
Let's look at some examples. Listen and repeat or speak along with the native speakers.
Что вы делаете на День труда? Я собираюсь путешествовать. Что вы делаете на День труда? Я собираюсь остаться дома. Что вы делаете на День труда? Я собираюсь пойти в кино.
Okay, now it's your turn. Do you remember how to say, what are you doing for Labor Day?
Что вы делаете на День труда?
Imagine you're planning to travel. Do you remember how to say travel?
Путешествовать. Путешествовать.
Say, I'm planning to travel.
Я собираюсь путешествовать.
Now, answer the question saying you're planning to travel.
Что вы делаете на день труда? Я собираюсь путешествовать.
Now, imagine you're planning to stay home. Do you remember how to say stay home?
Остаться дома. Остаться дома.
Say, I'm planning to stay home.
Я собираюсь остаться дома.
Now, answer the question saying you're planning to stay home.
Что вы делаете на день труда? Я собираюсь остаться дома.
Now imagine you're planning to go to the movies. Do you remember how to say go to the movies?
Пойти в кино. Пойти в кино.
Say, I'm planning to go to the movies.
Я собираюсь пойти в кино.
Now, answer the question saying you're planning to go to the movies.
Что вы делаете на день труда? Я собираюсь пойти в кино.
Hi everyone, I'm Alicia. Welcome to Conversational Phrases. We've found that the best way to learn a language is to speak it from day one. And the best way to start speaking is to learn phrases that you'll use in real conversations. In this lesson, you'll learn conversational phrases to use when talking on the phone. After watching this video, you'll be able to ask for someone on the phone and to put someone on hold. And if you want to learn more vocabulary, phrases, and example sentences you can use in real-life situations, click the link in the description to download your Making a Phone Call PDF cheat sheet for free. Now, let's take a look at some conversational phrases.
Listen to the dialogue.
Здравствуйте. Я бы хотела поговорить с ответственным сотрудником.
Одну секунду.
Once more with the English translation.
Здравствуйте. Я бы хотела поговорить с ответственным сотрудником.
Hello, I'd like to speak with the person in charge.
Одну секунду.
Okay, just a moment. First of all, you'll need to learn how to say hello on the phone. That's
Здравствуйте. Здравствуйте.
Then you'll need to learn how to say, I'd like to speak with person. The pattern is,
Я бы хотела поговорить с.
person. For example, hello, I'd like to speak with the person in charge.
Здравствуйте. Я бы хотела поговорить с ответственным сотрудником. Здравствуйте. Я бы хотела поговорить с ответственным сотрудником.
Now, how do you answer this question?
Одну секунду.
Okay, just a moment. Listen to it again.
Одну секунду. Одну секунду.
This Russian sentence literally translates as 1 second, but it means, okay, just a moment. Here are a few more phrases you can use with the same pattern to talk on the phone. The person in charge.
Ответственный сотрудник. Ответственный сотрудник.
A sales representative.
Торговый представитель. Торговый представитель.
The manager.
Менеджер. Менеджер.
Customer service.
Клиентская служба. Клиентская служба.
Let's look at some examples. Listen and repeat or speak along with the native speakers.
Я бы хотела поговорить с торговым представителем.
Одну секунду.
Я бы хотела поговорить с менеджером.
Одну секунду.
Я бы хотела поговорить с клиентской службой.
Одну секунду.
Okay, now it's your turn. Do you remember how to say, I'd like to speak with person?
Я бы хотела поговорить с...
Person. And how do you answer it?
Одну секунду.
Imagine you want to talk to a sales representative. Do you remember how to say, a sales representative?
Торговый представитель. Торговый представитель.
Say, I'd like to speak with a sales representative.
Я бы хотела поговорить с торговым представителем.
Now say you want to talk to a sales representative and answer it.
Я бы хотела поговорить с торговым представителем.
Одну секунду.
Now, imagine you want to talk to the manager. Do you remember how to say, the manager?
Менеджер. Менеджер.
Say, I'd like to speak with the manager.
Я бы хотела поговорить с менеджером.
Now say you want to talk to the manager and answer it.
Я бы хотела поговорить с менеджером.
Одну секунду.
Now imagine you want to talk to customer service. Do you remember how to say customer service?
Клиентская служба. Клиентская служба.
Say, I'd like to speak with customer service.
Я бы хотела поговорить с клиентской службой.
Now say you want to talk to customer service and answer it.
Я бы хотела поговорить с клиентской службой.
Одну секунду.
Want to speak real Russian from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at RussianPod101.com.
To master a new language and understand everything as soon as you hear it, to read with just a quick glance and speak smoothly without thinking, you need to review. Here are our top 5 review tactics. Number 1, listen to examples over and over again. By listening closely and often, you start to pick up the rhythm of a language, as well as correct pronunciation from a native speaker. Use our line-by-line feature that lets you both listen and read along. Use this tool to practice as much as possible. Number 2, use our voice recording tool to master perfect pronunciation. Record yourself and compare it against the native speaker. If you sound different, then repeat after the native speaker until you're able to match them. Use our voice recording feature, which makes recording super easy. Number 3. Master your recorded conversations. Record conversations and go over them again and again. Master entire conversations and repeat them line by line. Use any of the dialogues available for download on our website. These come with transcripts of the entire conversation. Number 4. Use mobile devices to reinforce previously learned conversations. Constant review is the best way to progress in your language studies. Download the recorded dialogue to your mobile device and incorporate it into your music playlist. Quick reviews throughout the day effectively reinforce what you've learned. Number 5. Read with line-by-line notes. Read along with a native speaker to really master pronunciation and natural intonation. You should start slow at first, then slowly increase your speed. Your pronunciation will become more natural. You will also see that your ability to understand fluent speakers will greatly increase. You'll be able to improve your communication skills using these 5 simple review techniques. Increase your understanding of your target language. And remember, if you're interested in getting all these review tools, sign up for your free lifetime account. No credit card required, and you'll get the best free online resources. And start reviewing more every day.
Человек. The tricky thing with this word is that in plural, it changes completely. So one man is человек, and many men is люди. Have you seen this man? Вы видели этого человека? Вы видели этого человека? Сказать. To say. Я хочу сказать. I would like to say, and then you keep saying what you want to say. The boss said, blah, blah, blah. Начальник сказал, and then you keep going what exactly he says. Пожалуйста. Please. Or, you're welcome. The difference in please and you're welcome is just the way you say it. For example, Mom, please, I don't want to go to school. Пожалуйста, мама, я не хочу идти в школу. Which we can hear every morning. Or you can say, present, an iPad from my friend is like, спасибо. And they go like, пожалуйста. Like, you're welcome. Pay attention to which word you're using. Смотри за словами. Смотри за словами. Maybe it's not very literal translation, but it means watch your mouth or something like that. Жить. To live. When you introduce yourself and you want to say where you live, exactly which city, which town, which country, or like which district. So, я живу в Москве. I live in Moscow. You can say пока-пока, which means bye-bye. Call me next week. Позвони мне на следующей неделе. Позвони мне на следующей неделе. What do you like to eat? Что ты любишь кушать? Что ты любишь кушать? Я хочу заказать. I would like to order something. Я хочу заказать салат. I would like to order salad. You made up your mind, so you want to order this. So, я хочу. If you want to say it in a more polite way, for example, you're in a very high-end restaurant, and so you want to be polite with the waiter, so you could say, я бы хотел заказать. I would like to order. Я бы хотела заказать чашечку кофе. I would like to order a cup of coffee. That would sound much nicer. Basically the same with the mother. You can say in an official way, отец, your father, твой отец. Or you can say in a more friendly way, твой папа, your father, твой папа. Твой папа любит рыбалку? Does your father like fishing? Твой папа любит рыбалку? Взять, to take. Я могу тебя взять с собой. I can take you with me. Извините. I'm sorry and excuse me. If you say I'm sorry, you can say извините, like you're really sorry about something you've done. But you can say excuse me, like you stepped on somebody's foot in a train. You can say, Ой, извините. Сестра. Have you met his sister? She is very nice. Ты знаком с его сестрой? Она очень приятная девушка. You can say, Give me, please. Дай мне, пожалуйста. Дай мне, пожалуйста. Or you can say, давайте. It's a bit different meaning, means let's do something. Давайте. Давайте пойдем гулять. Let's go for a walk. I'd like to give you a piece of advice. Я хочу дать тебе совет. Yes, Russian people say a lot. Да, 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 да. Yes, 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 yes. I agree. Да, да, да. Take care of your bag. Пожалуйста, смотри за своей сумкой.
Hi! Welcome to Introduction to Russian. My name is Alicia, and I'm joined by...
Hi everyone, I'm Katya.
In this lesson, you'll learn the basics of Russian grammar. Word order refers to the order in which words are structured to form a sentence in a given language. Consider the English sentence, I ate an apple. But first, let's remove the article an here for simplicity, so we're just left with I ate apple. The basic word order for English is subject, verb, object, or SVO for short. If we break down the English sentence, I ate apple, we can see that the subject I is presented first, followed by the verb ate, and then finally the object apple is positioned last. This is the basic word order for sentences in English.
Russian uses the same word order as English, SVO. Парень купил собаку. Парень, the subject, a guy, goes first. Купил, the verb bought, goes second. And собаку, the object dog, goes last. This means that you can create any basic sentence in Russian simply by exchanging the English words for Russian words using a dictionary and still be understood. Isn't that easy?
In fact, Russian word order is much more flexible than English. Compare the following examples. Cats eat mice. If we were to swap the subject with the object, we'd get mice eat cats. As you can see, the SVO word order in English is fixed. Changing the word order changes the meaning of the sentence completely.
Russian, on the other hand, is much more flexible. Starting with the SVO word order, кошки едят мышей. We can swap the subject with the object like we did for English, and yet, мышей едят кошки. The meaning of the sentence remains the same. In fact, we could swap the sentence any which way, and it still wouldn't change the core meaning of the sentence.
Unlike English, Russian doesn't rely on the word order of the sentence to signify if a word is the subject or an object because it uses special word endings that act as markers to indicate the role of the word in the sentence.
In this example, we use the word ending "ей" in мышей to indicate that mice is the object of the sentence. And so we can move it around anywhere in the sentence and it still be the object.
Now you know how to create basic sentences in Russian, but how do you make a sentence negative?
Negation in Russian is easy. Just add "не", meaning no, before the verb. Он спит. Он не спит. Я знаю. Я не знаю. Unlike English, Russian permits double negatives. So in English, you would say nothing happened. But in Russian, we would say nothing didn't happen. Ничего не произошло.
You can form many basic negative sentences in Russian by placing no before the verb. Turning a sentence into a question in Russian is even easier than turning it into a negative sentence.
Simply raise your pitch at the end of the question as you would in English.
Unlike English, though, you do not need to rearrange the order of any words. Simply say the sentence and raise the pitch at the end.
Ты понимаешь? Ты понимаешь?
To ask more than yes or no questions, you'll need to learn question words. Some common question words are
Что? Как? Кто? Какой? Когда?
We'll cover more of this in future lessons on Russian grammar. Well done! Let's wrap up this lesson by recapping what we've learned. In this lesson, you learned that Russian sentences can be formed using an SVO word order, just like English. Additionally, Russian uses markers to indicate the role of a word in a sentence, which allows the word order to be much more flexible. You make a negative sentence by adding no before the verb. And to create basic questions in Russian, simply add a question mark and raise your pitch at the end of a sentence. We've covered only the absolute basics of Russian grammar. If you're interested in learning more, check out our Russian in 3 minutes video series. In that course, we teach you useful phrases while covering the fundamentals of Russian grammar, and each lesson is only 3 minutes long. See you in the next lesson. Bye!
Bye!
Hi everyone, and welcome to Ask a Teacher. I'm Lina, and I'm here to answer the most common questions you send us about the Russian language. And the question for today is, what are the differences between Russian and English sentence structures? The most obvious difference between Russian and English sentence structure is word order. English has a fixed order of subject, verb, and object. Russian is a lot more flexible. In Russian, you can place an object both before and after the verb. Take the sentence I don't know him. Я не знаю его. Here, его, him, is an object. It can be placed before the verb Я его не знаю, after the verb Я не знаю его, and even in the very beginning of the sentence Его я не знаю. All these sentences would be perfectly grammatically correct and would mean one and the same thing. At first, it may seem simple and even convenient to be able to switch the words around. However, the reason Russian sentences make sense, no matter how you shuffle the words around, is that the words themselves carry a lot of grammar nuances. If you need to convey a grammar nuance, you make a change to the word, not the whole structure. And this change can be made with the help of suffixes, prefixes, or endings. Almost all Russian words can be changed. Let's see how Russian nouns can be changed. Russian nouns decline depending on 6 grammar cases. You decline a noun when you need to change it from its initial or nominative form to some other form. For example, the word палочки, chopsticks, is an initial form. It can be used in a sentence like this. Вот мои палочки. Here are my chopsticks. To say that you eat sushi with chopsticks, you change the word палочки into палочками. I eat sushi with chopsticks. Я ем суши палочками. So you take out the ending «и» and replace it with the ending «ами». Палочки палочками. Палочками is an instrumental case of the word палочки. As you can see, the change is made with the help of an ending, not with the help of preposition, as in English. Nouns can also change according to gender, masculine, feminine or neuter, and according to number, singular or plural. Adjectives and some pronouns can undergo the same changes as nouns. But don't you be scared. In some ways, Russian is even easier than English. First, there are no articles in Russian, as opposed to English, and some other languages like Spanish or French, which even have gender articles. Secondly, there are only 3 verb tenses in Russian, a lot fewer than English has. In English, in the present tense, for an action that happens regularly, you'd say, I played basketball. And for an action that is happening right this moment, you'd say, I am playing basketball. In Russian, instead of these 2 structures, you only need to use one. Я играю в баскетбол. And then you can specify. Я играю в баскетбол каждый день. I play basketball every day. И я играю в баскетбол сейчас. I'm playing basketball right now. Another thing that makes learning Russian is just a bit easier is that there are no auxiliary verbs in Russian. Words like do, have, or be. Of course, we do have all these basic words in Russian. The thing is that they don't act like auxiliaries in the sentences. In English, if you need to make a negative out of a statement, you need to carefully choose the right form of the auxiliary verb, do for example, and make changes to the word order. So, he liked ice cream in its negative form becomes he didn't like ice cream. We like ice cream becomes we don't like ice cream. And the baby likes ice cream becomes the baby doesn't like ice cream, and so on. In Russian, all you need to do is use one and the same word не, which can be translated into English as not. This word не can be placed in front of any word in the sentence, and that alone will make the sentence negative. So, он любил мороженое. He liked ice cream. Он не любил мороженое. He didn't like ice cream. Мы любим мороженое. We like ice cream. Мы не любим мороженое. We don't like ice cream. Ребенок любит мороженое. The baby likes ice cream. Ребенок не любит мороженое. The baby doesn't like ice cream. Easy. Lastly, just like with negatives, to turn a statement into a question, in English, you need to change the entire structure. In Russian, all you need to change is intonation. So in English, you are going to work tomorrow becomes are you going to work tomorrow? In Russian, you don't have to move the words around. All you need to do is change your intonation and the statement becomes a question. Like this. Ты идешь на работу завтра. You are going to work tomorrow. Ты идешь на работу завтра? Are you going to work tomorrow? So how was it? Pretty interesting, right? Do send me some more questions about the Russian language usage, and I'll be happy to answer them. До встречи! See you soon! Hello everyone, Lena here. Welcome to Ask a Teacher, where I'll answer some of your most common Russian questions. The question for this lesson is, how hard is it to learn Russian? The Foreign Service Institute, or FSI, created a scale to show how long it takes to get to professional level proficiency in speaking a foreign language for a native English speaker. Russian is a Category 3 language. That means it has significant differences from English. It takes a bit longer to learn than, say, Spanish or Italian, which have very similar writing systems to English. According to this scale, Russian takes approximately 44 weeks, or 1,100 hours of study, but this will of course vary from person to person. The hardest part about Russian is grammar. There are many factors you have to consider when making a sentence, such as gender, number, suffixes and prefixes. With nouns, we have to be mindful of how they decline depending on the 6 Russian cases. With verbs, you have to be mindful of the imperfective and perfective forms, which are verb aspects that indicate whether an action is ongoing or has already been completed. For example, the word dog is feminine, собака, and the word cat is masculine, кот. If you want to say, I love my dog and I love my cat, you'll have to use different endings for the nouns. Я люблю свою собаку, but я люблю своего кота, respectively. You can see that even the pronoun my, свой, will change for these sentences because of the animals' genders. But there are many things about learning Russian that are easier than you think. Here are a couple of other facts about Russian that you will like. First, there are not many exceptions or special cases, such as irregular verbs or strange spellings. Also, there's no strict word order in Russian. And even if you're not familiar with Russian grammar, you can put the words in the sentence in almost any order, and a native Russian speaker should be able to understand you. So Russian, just like any other language, has its own difficulties. But if you give it time and dedication, you should be well on your way to getting where you want to be. Do you have any more questions? Leave them in the comments below, and I'll do my best to answer them. До встречи! See you soon! Hi everyone, Lena here. Welcome to Ask a Teacher, where I'll answer some of your most common Russian questions. The question for this lesson is, what is verb conjugation? and what to consider when conjugating a verb. Verb conjugation is a change in the form of the verb depending on the number and person. Just like in English, there are 3 grammatical persons in Russian. For singular, they are я, I, ты, you, он, она, оно, he, she, it. For plural, they are мы, we, вы, you, они, they. So, to conjugate a verb, you need to change their personal ending. For example, я люблю читать. I like to read. Он читает. He reads. Дети читают. The children are reading. If we know how to conjugate the verb, we can avoid spelling mistakes, which are common in the unstressed personal endings of the verbs. For example, the verb читаете. You are reading. Which is the right vowel to put here? Ye or e? In rapid speech, ye and e in the unstressed position sound the same. But if you know the right conjugation of the verb читать, you wouldn't hesitate. Ye is the right vowel to put here. Читаете. In Russian, there are 2 conjugations. The vowel ye is mostly used in the endings of the first conjugation verbs. The vowel e is mostly used in the endings of the second conjugation verbs. Let's explore the typical endings of the first conjugation verbs. First person singular, у, you. Second person singular, ешь, ешь. Third person singular, ед, ед. First person plural, ем, ем. Second person plural, ете, ете. Third person plural, ут, ют. Now let's take a look at the typical endings of the second conjugation verbs. First person singular, у, you. Second person singular, иш. Third person singular, it. First person plural, им. Second person plural, ите. Third person plural, at, ят. Let's conjugate the verb читать, meaning to read, which is a first conjugation verb in Russian. Я читаю, I'm reading. Ты читаешь, you are reading. Он читает, he is reading. Мы читаем, we are reading. Вы читаете, you are reading. Они читают, they are reading. So the pattern here is to remove the ending t from the infinitive form of the verb you'll find in a dictionary and add the appropriate ending of the first conjugation. The infinitives of the first conjugation verbs usually end in ать, ять, оть, еть, уть, and so on. Let's move to the second conjugation verbs and conjugate the verb учить, which means to teach, to learn, or to study. Я учу, I teach. Ты учишь, you teach. Он учит, he teaches. Мы учим, we teach. Вы учите, you teach. Они учат, they teach. The pattern here is once again to remove the ending it from the infinitive form of the verb and add the appropriate ending of the second conjugation to the remaining base uch. Most verbs ending in it are the second conjugation verbs. There are a few exceptions, such as the verbs брить, to shave, and слышать, to hear. Now you can easily conjugate the verbs by looking up their infinitive forms in the dictionary and making changes to the endings. The verbs in different aspects and moods conjugate in the same way. For example, if you come across the verb прочитаете, you shouldn't be confused by the prefix про in front of the verb читаете. You should just look up the infinitive form of the verb прочитать and conjugate it in the same way you would conjugate the verb читать. The trick's done. Conjugating verbs may seem difficult, but starting practicing with the basic verbs will certainly make you proficient and confident in a short time. Pretty interesting, right? If you have more questions, leave them in the comments below. До встречи! See you soon!
Expand your vocabulary with our core 2,000 words ebook. It's free and packed with essential expressions that you'll use on a daily basis. Start building your vocabulary today. Click the link in the description below to download your free Russian ebook before it's gone.